If your hose reel has cracked, seized, or sprung a leak inside 2 seasons, you are not alone and you are not unlucky. I have thoroughly researched the models cluttering Amazon right now, and one reel under $60 quietly outperforms options costing twice as much. Links are in the description, and stick around until the end because the winner is not the one with the most reviews. A bad garden hose reel is not just annoying, it is $50 quietly rusting on the side of your house, and the cheap ones fail in the exact same way every time. The crank strips out, the hose kinks at the inlet, or the mount pulls out of the wall after one hard winter. I have gone through the specs, the verified buyer complaints, and the real failure points on every model here, so you do not have to learn this the hard way. Wall-mounted reels specifically are a different category than the cart-style ones. The mount hardware and the retraction mechanism carry all the stress. Get those 2 things wrong, and nothing else matters. By the end of this, you will know exactly which reel is worth your money at each price point, and which ones are just well-photographed disappointments. If your garden is large and you want a reel that reaches every corner, the Giraffe Tools 130-foot retractable hose reel sounds like the answer. At $179.99 at the time of this video, it is the most expensive pick on this list. That price needs to earn its keep, and here is where things get complicated. The 130-foot hybrid hose passes a 200 psi pressure test and a 600-pound bursting pressure threshold, so the hose itself is genuinely tough. The 180-degree swivel bracket and the lock at any length system both sound premium on paper. And the auto rewind with a slow return mechanism? The idea is smart. No hose whipping back and smacking your shins. In practice, many owners report that slow return actually means frustratingly slow, standing there waiting for 130 feet of hose to crawl back in. That is a long crawl. It also carries a 4.2 out of 5 across over 10,000 reviews. Solid, but not exceptional for what you are paying. Who is this for? Someone with a genuinely sprawling property who needs every inch of that reach and does not mind the premium. Everyone else is buying more hose than they need and more price than the performance justifies. The next one on this list costs less and delivers more where it counts. So, what does less money actually buy you? At $129.95 at the time of this video, the Alien 100-foot retractable hose reel sounds like a smart middle ground move. Half-inch diameter, wall-mounted, 180-degree swivel bracket, slow return auto rewind, any length dual ratchet lock. On paper, that list is competitive. The problem is that a spec sheet and a backyard are 2 very different places. The 9-function spray nozzle gets mentioned in the marketing like it's the headline feature. 9 patterns sounds like a lot. In practice, most people use 2, maybe 3, and what matters is whether those 2 patterns hold pressure and feel solid in your hand after a full season outdoors. On that question, the Alien leaves you guessing. There's a 4.2-star rating across over 4,200 reviews, which is respectable, but the durability story past that first season is murky. No clear reliability data to point to. For $129.95, you're not getting a bargain. You're paying mid-tier money for a product where the long-term confidence just isn't there yet. If this were $80, the math changes. At this price, it doesn't. Skip it if you're watering every day. The next pick on this list costs less, has a cleaner track record, and frankly, makes this one look like a placeholder. So if the last one felt like a placeholder, here is where the list actually starts earning your attention. At $89.99 at the time of this video, the Wikiwiki 100-foot retractable reel sits at rank 3, and it gets there on genuine merit, not just price. It has a 4.4 out of 5 from 613 reviews, which is a real signal, not a handful of paid 5 stars. The UV-resistant housing matters if your hose wall gets direct afternoon sun for 6 months straight. Cheaper shells go brittle and crack. You get a half-inch diameter hose at 100 feet, a 180-degree swivel bracket, auto slow return rewind, and a 10-function sprayer nozzle bundled in. That is a complete kit, not a stripped-down box. Here is the honest trade-off, though. 100 feet is a lot of hose to manage. If your yard is 40 feet deep, you are paying for 60 feet of dead weight that adds bulk to every retraction cycle. Many owners report the auto rewind strains noticeably on a full 100-foot pull. For a compact patio or a side yard spigot, that extra length works against you. This one is for the buyer with a genuinely large yard who waters daily and needs UV protection built in. Everyone else? The number 2 pick costs less and fits tighter spaces cleaner, so you want the reach without the real estate price tag. At $90.96 at the time of this video, the Hoosene 50-foot wall-mounted hose reel lands at rank 2, and honestly, for most suburban yards, that is not a bad place to be. It covers up to 7,800 square feet when you factor in the 180-degree swivel base, which is a legitimate number for a mid-range reel. The slow return system is genuinely useful. Hoosene claims 20% slower retraction than standard reels, which means no hose whipping back and catching you in the shins. The any-length lock works exactly as advertised: pull, stop, water, done. You also get a 10-pattern spray nozzle included, so you are not buying accessories on day 1. The housing is rated for over 20,000 retractions and uses UV and freeze-resistant materials, so it is not going to crater after one summer. Now, the trade-offs. With 1,053 reviews at 4.4 stars, owners generally like it, but the build skews plastic throughout. No brass fittings, no metal internals where pressure builds. That matters if you run hard water or high PSI regularly. It is fine. It is not forever. The buyer this suits: a mid-sized yard, light to moderate daily use, and a budget that does not stretch past $100. But if longevity and premium hardware are what you are actually after, the #1 pick makes this one feel like a placeholder. And here it is, the one that makes every other reel on this list feel like a compromise. At $79.99 at the time of this video, the Sun-Pow 50-foot retractable hose reel is the #1 pick, and it earns that spot on actual hardware, not marketing copy. The first thing you notice is the 3/4-inch brass fitting, not plastic. Brass. That single detail tells you everything about where Sun-Pow put the budget, because brass fittings resist corrosion, handle real water pressure without cracking, and they last. The auto rewind system here is the smoothest in this lineup. One gentle tug, and the hose retracts cleanly, no wrestling, no coiling by hand in the dark. The 180-degree swivel bracket means you mount it once and water any direction you need. Any length locking gives you precise control, not just a few preset stops. It ships with a 10-pattern sprayer nozzle included. At 4.6 stars across 784 reviews, this is not a product that got lucky. That rating holds under volume. Who is it for? Anyone who wants wall-mounted convenience, premium fittings, and a reel that quietly handles 50 feet without drama for years. Now the trade-offs. Honestly, the price gap over the mid-tier picks is real, and if your yard is tiny, you may not use 50 feet regularly. But if you are buying once and buying right, this is the one. So let's cut through the noise on 3 things that actually determine whether your hose lasts or dies. First, length. Most yards under a 1/4 acre are fully covered by 50 feet. A 100-foot hose sounds like more value until you're dragging the extra weight around a flower bed and the kink resistance starts losing the battle. Buy for your actual yard, not a hypothetical one. Second, fittings. Brass crushes plastic every single time. Plastic fittings crack at the connection point. That is where almost every hose failure starts, according to owner feedback across thousands of reviews. Brass costs maybe $2 more to manufacture. When a brand cuts that corner, ask yourself what else they skimped on. Third, the price-to-durability curve flattens hard above the mid-tier. Spending more does not always buy you a better hose. Sometimes it just buys you a fancier box. Keep that in mind for the #1 pick. So here is where we land. Most of these reels make you trade something, build quality for price, or smooth rewind for durability. The Sun-Pow does not make you choose. The construction holds up, the rewind does not fight you, and the price does not hurt. That combination is genuinely rare at this tier. Some of the others are fine. Fine is not what you want when you are standing in the rain trying to reel in 100 feet of hose. You want the one that just works. That is the Sun-Pow. Links are in the description. Check the current price down there before you decide. All the links are in the description. Current prices, no markup. Prices shift, so check before you buy. Full affiliate disclosure is down there too. If this saved you from a bad purchase, subscribe. The next comparison drops soon, and it is a good one.